All right, so the topic I'm responding to is how do you build and support students' understanding of the learning objectives? Well, the first thing is you need something to build that understanding on. So you need to know what the students already know. And to keep it simple, the easiest way is just to ask them. I mean, I think it's really important to always be honest and straightforward with students because a lot of people like to say that students know what they need, but that really isn't true. Students, however, they have all the information that the teachers need to help them figure out what they need, if that makes sense. Okay. So, like, for instance, the whole thing of being straightforward with students is I can distinctly remember, I don't know if it was third or fourth grade, but I remember the incident and the feeling. And we spent an entire day on a lie. It was this whole thematic thing based around something to do with space and traveling to Mars and something. And at the end of the day, they revealed to us that all we had been working on, all we've been doing, was a lie. And I was maybe 10 years old, and I just remember being so upset that the whole day had been a lie. So I've always been determined to be only ever honest and straightforward with students. So when it comes to learning objectives, the best thing to do is just straightforwardly present them to the students if they're complicated enough that you think they need to be. I mean, they should be posted, yes, technically, but if they're so simple that it's like, read and understand this, then tell me back what you know, then. But if you think there's anything the students might not understand, you need to find out what they do understand. Um, and that's how you build with the learning objectives. You present them with learning objectives. Okay, tell me what that means. You know, that's it's the easiest thing to do. Is just ask the students, tell me what that means to you. Um, because otherwise you're just wasting time either reteaching them stuff they already know, or you're trying to teach them something they're never going to understand until you teach them what they need to know to understand that. Like, for instance, just yesterday, I was tutoring a student who is brand new to the tutoring center, and we're trying to find his Goldilocks zone, his zone of proximal development, right? And so we're powering through this stuff, and he's really working fast, and he's really overconfident, and he finally gets one wrong. And it turns out that the one thing he got wrong is because he obviously grew up here, and he can't conceive of the idea of a storm during the summer. So I had to explain to him that actually in most parts of the world, and even in most parts of the United States, it actually rains quite a lot in the summer, and storms are quite often in the summer. It's only here that we have like there's just no precipitation or really weather at all during the summer. So he just couldn't conceive of the idea of there being a storm during the summer. I just thought that was hilarious. And that's the one thing he got wrong the whole day. I worked with him for 2 hours, and it's the only question he got wrong was that. So that's just a perfect example of how you have to pre-teach a lot, and you don't necessarily know what you need to pre-teach until you either learn enough about the students or you just, if you're on the spot, you might just have to ask them. So I mean, that's the place to start to build and support. Well, you got to know how to do it as you build. With the students' help, you always have to have the students' involvement, and that's why you have to be straightforward and honest with them. And that's pretty much it. I mean,